I'm Dawud Bey from Point Bridge Youth Development. We're here with HipHopSince1987.com and about to tell y'all a story.
Shout my HipHopSince1987 niggas. HipHopSince1987.com.
What's going on? It is your boy E Money, and I'm here with a true Philadelphia legend. Grow up hearing your name in such high honor. You know, he's one of these guys you would call honorable man, Dawud Bey. How are you? It's a pleasure to meet you,
Good,
sir.
my pleasure.
Yes, sir. Now, for those, our website has a large, reach, much past Philly. So for those who don't know who you are, maybe you give them a little background on who Dawud Bey is.
Well, my name is Dawud Bey. I'm from South Philadelphia. And like he said, I actually breathe the air of South Philly. I sweat the smell of the concrete of South Philly. So I basically come from the ranks of the struggle that everybody else come from the ground up. And just here to try to utilize my influence now for more positive things as opposed to things that was, harmful to my past.
Yes, sir. Now, for me, young man growing up here in Philly, your story has always been connected to something similar to a lot of us not growing up with a lot of options, and opposed to settling for that, you made a way for yourself, and that may have put you in compromising positions, be in prison or what have you. But you are like our AZ Rich Porter, for Philadelphia. We're here at a Philly show. Let's start with music. When you hear some of the content and some of the lyrics these artists put out, and like this was my life, right. and you meet these guys, what are your thoughts on their content and the direction that it should be taken or shouldn't be taken? How do you feel about that?
Well, I definitely feel as though there's a responsibility that comes with things that you say out of your mouth.
Yes, sir.
And some of these guys is not that much believable to me, but it's part of black society or the fiber of the black community. You understand? Be it they're talking about drugs and killings and so forth and so on. And I think when it comes to the responsibility, I think it's important that they tell kids the difference between, say, AR-Ab and the difference between who he is as Abdul, I think his real name is.
Yes, sir.
The person, though. Because you have a fictional character, you understand, in a lot of these rappers, and then you have who that person really are. So it's like, I just think it's important to try to find that balance and let the kids know, just like we listen to Eminem music, we don't necessarily want to kill our mother, though.
Yeah.
You understand? Or just because you hear Meek songs or some songs talking about drugs and killings and stuff like that, you got to be a leader and can't listen to everything that these guys say, because some of it is not who they really are.
Yes, sir.
Most of it.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a big responsibility that comes with whatever you say out of your mouth.
Okay. Now, music has definitely been a part of all our lives, and it's filtered through you, your family, to the point where your nephews are managers in the music business or what have you. How do you feel about that, and is that something you would want to see yourself possibly doing in the near future?
Well, I've been trying to avoid it.
Okay.
A lot.
Why is that?
Because it keeps it's too close to the streets. You understand? And a lot of these kids don't realize that even though the music is about the streets, the business of music is not in the streets. So I don't want to be a guy, like a certified street dude like a Preem. You understand? Who's a certified street guy, but get caught up in the rap beef. You understand? And the rap guys that lead certified dudes from streets that really willing to take it all the way there.
Yeah.
You understand? They lead those type of dudes into a situation that's really, when you look at it, at the root of the problem, is really just about rap music? Is this a beef about rap music? It ain't no real street nigga shit. You understand? So you have to be careful with not allowing nobody to take you faster than you want to go. So that's my reluctance. You know what I mean? But Teefy, he's the man. Like Latif, CEO, Do For Self. I'm the president of Do For Self. Jazz, you know what I mean? From Jazz York Barbershop, you know, he's the vice president. You know, so we got finance behind us. We got experience and wisdom behind us, as well as the youth behind us with Teefy, because he understands the pop culture a little bit more than me. He understands what they saying in they rap more than me, and how high the fuck they be when they saying it. So, you know, guys like that basically, you know, give me a little inspiration sometimes to want to help. But the day-to-day stuff, that's what Teefy, my thing is, once he get it to a certain point that we can package it, and then I can go ahead and I can take it as from a business level. I know what to do from the business level and take it to music, and I know what I can sell at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Now, you've always been a businessman. I have to ask, what's being incarcerated? I know you're incarcerated for a long stint. What's a lesson that you learned just having so much time to sit and think that I'm sure that you're sharing with your nephews and, you know, the individuals close to you that you can possibly share with our fan base and even myself, you know what I mean?
Just the importance of time, you know what I mean? Like, because every breath you take, you can't no longer get that breath back. You can't get that moment back, that second back. So when you sitting in them institutions and time is ticking away, you understand? It's like you really, really learn the value of making good use of your time. So in the prison, either you're going to be, prison is a wise man's college and a fool's playground. So either you're going to use that time to educate yourself, to give you more opportunities to broaden your perspective when you do, and if you possibly ever come back to society, that you will be able to have a better control of your thought process and how you carry certain things out. So this with me is like with prison, without it trying to teach you, it's going to teach you patience. Because you can't do what you want, when you want, how you want. You get up to think, man, I need to go get something to eat. And you can't get to the kitchen. You understand? So nothing goes on your time. It ain't about you, like, you know what I mean? So things go in its proper order. So it's really the thing that people really need to learn, that I learned most important with prison, is being patient, organizing your thought process, and making good use of your time.
Now, for those who don't know the back, what were you incarcerated for and how long were you incarcerated?
I was incarcerated for drug selling and tampering with witnesses.
Okay.
One of our cases was one of the most sensationalized cases in the history of Philadelphia.
Yes.
So to me,
they can Google it.
And they can Google it. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's about really, about really just understanding what that situation was about, and basically just knowing how to navigate your way through other problems and situations. So what I'm trying to do now with the youth is basically give them an opportunity with conflict and resolution. You understand? It's a restorative justice program that we have, where we bring the perpetrator and the victim together to bring about real resolution. You understand? So that's what it's really all about, because a lot of times these younger guys be wanting to stop their beefs, but don't have no one there to bridge the gap that they respect and that they trust.
And actually has the influence to do it.
And have the influence to do it, because there's no resolution without enforcement. So sometimes you gotta be like, you know, enough is enough, like, you know what I mean? And they know that, they know how to respect that, you know. So my case was, like I said, a huge drug case, along with tamper with witness, and then the firebombing, the situation with Kabani Savage and so forth and so on. So like, that's where I come from, like, you know. So it's a blessing to be here, to even having this conversation, like, you know.
It's a blessing for me to be able to learn something from you and have a conversation.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot, like you continuously keep talking about the youth, and that's a beautiful thing. And to the point where you have something called the Point Breeze Youth Development. Can you explain to our fans what is that and what is the goal of?
Well, Point Breeze was obviously my geographic location. That's where I was born and raised at. In the
Point Breeze is a section in South Philly for a lot of our guys who don't know. So that's a part of South Philly.
So Point Breeze was basically my location that I was targeting, the youth was the demographic that I was targeting, basically between 12 to 18 and 18 to 25. You know, to try to really capture that audience, because I think it's really important that we get to these guys, because it's about building their character. So Point Breeze was the area, the youth was who he was targeting, and development stood for developing the minds of human beings as well as urban housing development. So right now I'm in the process of doing a partnership with Kenny Gamble and Universal Companies, and we plan on building 50 affordable houses in South Philly, because gentrification is now taking over that neighborhood.
Yes, it is.
From Girard Hospital, from Graduate Hospital area,
They all the way up to Lehigh.
all the way to well, going east, is going all the way through Point Breeze Avenue. You understand? So my thing is to try to preserve as much space for the older stakeholders in our community who has been there for years and years and years, and their taxes is going up, they're getting pushed out of the community. So Point Breeze Youth Development was a vision that I had over 21 years, which was to do urban housing development as well, because I already seen the vision of how Center City was going to move that way. So I wanted to try to be a part of preserving that space for our community.
And you've been doing this, like you said, since 1996, correct?
Since 1996, we've been doing it, like, you know, and it's a business that once you in it, it's like you really got to have your heart in the right place, because if you really in it for money, it ain't about making money, even though you can make money, because a developer is nothing more than a dreamer, and people pay you for your dream and your vision. You understand? So it's different ways for you to maximize your potential from that. And the Constitution said the man got a right to be paid from the sweat of his brow. I'm sweating right now, so but I ain't getting paid.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Okay. Now, with that being said, the project built 50 more houses. There's a lot of individuals who they see what's going on and like, you know what, I want to help. And you're an individual who had every excuse in the book to not get up and help, but you still got up and you're making something happen. How does that individual make a change? Like, what avenues did you go through? Like, was it contact your city council? Well, I'm sure you have connections, but what are the best avenues to take to really make a difference? Because people run into them blockades.
Just put your heart in the right place. You understand? And things will really come to you. Because really, like I said, if your heart is not in the right place, you're not going to have the stamina that it takes to get to where you're trying to go. You understand? So I could say, use these resources, go see this person, go see that person. But if your heart ain't in the right place and you don't see instant gratification, then you're not going to have the stamina that it takes to really go forward to reach your goals. So you got to be resilient. You got to be passionate. You got to really love what it is that you're doing for the sake of God, for the sake of something bigger than you. Whatever it is you believe in, it got to be bigger than you.
Okay. Now, what do you feel like the youth is missing, and something that, you know, the older generation can give them back?
Education and jobs. Education and jobs, man. You know what I mean? And be surprised. I done stopped a couple wars in South Philly, and I had to wait a few extra hours because some of the guys were still in college. They were still going to school and stuff like that, you know. And that's bare minimum, like, of the case. But the rest of them don't even have jobs and don't even want to go to school or anything. But the point that we as elders got to understand is we can't give up on these guys, because there's a lot of guys, once you remove some of the layers and get to see exactly who they are, they still really trying. They trying to have jobs. You know, they trying to be in school. This kid's going to war right now, because they in college all winter. When they come home in the summer, they going to war. So we be thinking that they know counts and they don't care and they not trying to do nothing. It's just they don't be having nobody there that they respect and that they trust and that they can help them bridge those gaps that I was talking about. You know.
Now, education. I'm big on that. I'm a college educated dude, and I felt like when I got out of college, it was a lot of things I still need to learn. If it wasn't for that guy behind that camera, I'd really be lost. Now I'm a parent, and my daughter's in a really good school. I'm one of those people that say, "You getting money, but what you doing?" Yeah, I pay for my daughter's education. I help take care of my mom. But I realized the education that's not really setting her up to do better. So I realized that the things I was reading, and I had to give my 9-year-old, me and her read Art of War together. And she's like, well, this is a bit much. It's not about you need to incorporate these things. You need to understand what the world will do to you. And just know more than what they teach you in these books.
Right.
How do you feel about the education? I mean, even if your kid goes to a private school, for me, I still feel like it's somewhat.
I got a son. I got two different spectrums. You know, as examples. My son graduated from Haverford High School out on the main line. Then I got a son that might have graduated from Orton Reed or from South Philly High or dropped out of school, rather. You understand? But I see the higher level of education with my son that go to Haverford. But at the end of the day, the thinking still have to be, you go to school to get a good education to become a CEO. So they gotta think differently. Our parents told us to go to school, get a good education so we can get a good job. But that's not proactive enough. That's not, no matter how much education you got, if you don't think different. You understand? Like the same education that any CEO got is the same education as the people who work for him have, but they think different. So his thing, but the CEO going to think, you know what, I'm going to school with all these kids. He want to be an architect. He want to be an accountant. He want to be a lawyer. He want to do this. Well, all right, these people, I could bring them together to help them fit into what my scheme of thing is, because they qualify. Because first of all, they going to these same schools that we're going to, and we top echelon educated students. So now you utilize those relationships. So I taught my children how to think like that and to infiltrate and say, look, okay, I'm going to school with all these talented, educated individuals. These same people here, I could use them to help run my business. So we got to teach our kids to think different as it relates to education. Then I got kids that graduated from the hood schools that ain't teaching kids nothing. But they got entrepreneurial spirit. You understand? So it's a different spectrum. So you gotta have kids just to be able to think, free thinkers, just to become free thinkers, more so than anything. Because a high education can destroy some kids, and a low education can destroy them as well. The high education individuals, they don't see certain things within this reality. It's like seeing life through a rose-colored glass. And at the end of the day, when you get out here in this world, ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about you.
Listen, man, I absolutely agree, and that was definitely a lesson I'm gonna take back home with mine. We gotta think different.
That's it.
Well, is there anything you like to leave us with before we get out of here? I know you got this whole event to run.
Yeah, I'm just here working, man. You know, I feel good about the process. It was a tremendous, it wasn't really hard. See, I love my people. You understand? When you love your people, you love what you're doing. It's like the little problems that you go through with different individuals, it's all part of the process, because you're dealing with different human beings and different mindsets and different upbringings, and that's all part of youth development. That's all part of bringing people together for one common goal and one common purpose. So I'm happy to be here today at Point Breeze Youth Development, first annual Stop the Violence concert, and it's a big night for us. There you go. Well, it's your boy E-Money with Dawud Bey. Like I said, a true Philly legend, man. It was an honor to be able to sit here and talk with you. My pleasure. We signing out with HipHopSince1987. Do for self, baby. Do for self.
HipHopSince1987.com.
We all saw that you and Beans had made up since the last interview. Can you break down where and how you guys were able to squash the beef?
He reached out to Nizzy, Pop, Nasheed, you know what I'm saying? Nasheed run the masjid, Ben Bass on Point Breeze Avenue, you know what I'm saying? We both pray there. So he reached out to him and another old named Jad and my other uncle, Kenyatta, he reached out to them. And then I ran across his brother, we talked, news, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then I seen Bings at the masjid at Juma Friday. We talked, you know what I'm saying, in the car or whatever, and shook hands, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He admitted to his wrongs. Yeah. I admitted to mine, you know what I'm saying? And we buried the hatchet like men. Yeah, that's real shit. And then, you know what I mean, I seen him at the Danny Garcia fight, and him and Neef Buck was taking pictures. I walked over there, shook his hand, took a picture.